AUAM News Hotspot is brought to you by
Pacific Points, Do More, Get More, and Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
All right, hello and half a day, everybody. I'm Jason Salas. I've been practicing my TikTok language, so welcome to the show. It's Wednesday. We're happy to have you here. Let's go.
The menu, brought to you by King's Restaurant, always open, always local, and Ruby Tuesday Guam, home of the fresh garden bar.
Yeah, have fun replaying that right before lunch. All right, in our data drop today, retired cops terrorizing trial continues. We'll tell you all about it. Ocean View Middle School has failed a re-inspection yet again. Our friends the Aidlet brothers have set not one, but two Guinness Book of World Records. And we continue with our candidate conversation series as Nestor Lecanto sits down with Senator Jim Moylan talking about his run to be your delegate in Congress. Right off the top, though, on this Wednesday afternoon, a retired Guam police lieutenant on trial took the witness stand in Superior Court. Jojo Garcia testified Monday about allegations prosecutors filed against him. The longtime police officer stands accused of arguing with a group in a Dedido neighborhood while holding what appeared to be a rifle. The incident was caught on mobile phone video, as the officer also faces charges for allegedly threatening fellow cops while on the job. The prosecution will question Garcia today before Judge Maria Senzon. The officer faces charges of terrorizing, reckless conduct, and official misconduct. Well, one woman allegedly punched a child in the face repeatedly, scratched her, and then threw her to the wall. 39-year-old Narti Billy has been charged with child abuse and family violence. Court documents state the 9-year-old girl knocked on Billy's door when she was attacked. The child repeatedly asked Billy to stop hurting her, but she refused allegedly. She admitted to officers that she was wrong, adding only that she did slap the child. In other crime news, a man accused of stealing from a gas station store has been arrested after resisting a police officer's arrest. What is his name? 40-year-old Jefferson Daniel, who's been charged with resisting arrest, retail theft, and public drunkenness. Court documents state that Daniel stole a can of Spam, corned beef, and 2 bottles of wine from the gas station store. Authorities spotted him while Daniel allegedly denied stealing anything before trying to pull away from the arresting officer. The complaint did state that he was arrested following a brief struggle with authorities. In education news and taking you down south, structural damages, moldy classrooms, weak walls and ceilings, and multiple leaks are a few of the violations, many of them, that Ocean View Middle School occurred during the re-inspection. Environmental Public Health Officer Supervisor Remeliza Orinando says the school is trying to correct the violations it has to keep the students down at the home of the Knights safe and in a learning environment.
The school is still, of course, working with Department of Education in correcting these violations. It does take time, as some of them do require repairs and parts. They're working on it, but they haven't completely corrected these violations. So these are the same violations that were cited in September 28th. So, we're just there to really just verify, make sure they have things in place.
Ariando added the school has an action plan in place to give them a timeline on when they may correct the violations. The school's waiting and making sure they have everything they need, such as materials and parts, to ensure all violations are fixed. For the time being, the school has blocked off the areas and classrooms that were deemed a hazard for the students. Well, new supplies to improve support for victims of domestic violence, dating violence, sexual assault, and stalking. GPD's domestic assault response team has received new video and audio equipment during a special presentation held at their headquarters over in the central part of the island at Tidzin. Police Chief Steven Ignacio talks about what this means for Guam's men and women in blue.
This goes a long way in improving the investigation and also the prosecution of some of our cases. I've talked to Attorney General Lino Camacho in the past about how can we improve the documentation of some of the statements that we get, especially from our victims, who at times maybe recant their statements as we go forward towards prosecution. He's asked, do we have anything else besides a statement from the officers? Do we have written statements? And we all know that audio and video recording go a long way in providing crucial evidence in any prosecution of domestic violence and sexual assault cases.
The new equipment was ascertained by way of a $16,000 award from the Improving Criminal Justice Response Grant. More local news in just a moment, but on the mainland, another deadly school shooting has been reported, this time in St. Louis, Missouri. One teacher and a 16-year-old student died and several others were injured. The gunman, who was a former student, was killed by police at the school.
Students fled their classrooms, arms raised high, after a gunman killed 2 people at Central Visual and Performing Arts High School in St. Louis.
I heard 4 gunshots. I also heard a scream, and then later on, when I was getting rushed out by St. Louis Police Department, I saw a dead body with blood everywhere.
Authorities say the gunman, a 19-year-old who graduated last year, had no prior criminal history. Officers engaged him 12 minutes after the active shooter call came in.
Everyone who survived here is going to take home trauma. Even the officers who responded here, the firefighters, and the paramedics who worked on people here.
Police Chief Michael Sachs said the doors to the school were locked, but didn't say how the gunman got inside.
The fact that the door did cause pause for the suspect, that bought us some time.
Freshman Raven Terry's friend came face to face with the gunman.
The shooter came to her and said, "You ready to die?" And just see her just screaming and crying, and it was just hurt me.
According to Education Week, there have been 40 school shootings this year that resulted in at least 1 injury or death. Scott Pullman's granddaughter texted him while in the school.
And it's just absurd that this happens over and over and over again. And we got to change something in this country.
Teacher Jean Kirch-Kutchka died at the hospital. Her family says she passionately raised money for diabetes research.
She was just the sweetest lady. She was always the sweetest lady.
A vigil was held Monday night for the victims. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
All right, we are going to move on as best we can because are you ready for Halloween? Of course, Monday is coming up, so ghouls and goblins will be making their way around the island's various neighborhoods. My good buddy Daniel Perez is staying in the village here in Harmon, and he's... oh, I guess we're not doing that today. All right, he is over at Foodies in Harmon, and he joins me right now. Daniel, what are you covering to get your
spook on? I'm here at Shell Foodies in Harmon, and you want to know why? Because today from 4 to 6, Team KOAM will be right here, and we'll be giving away a lot of stuff from gas certs to food certs. And even, you know, Halloween's coming in early for the kids, especially for the kids. So parents out there, from 4 to 6, drop on by at any of the Shell Foodies locations up here in Harmon, in Hagåtña, or in Manilao. We'll be giving away goodie bags filled with candy, fake tattoos, sunglasses, whatever, and it's all for the kids. But remember, it's between 4 to 6 p.m. only. So come on by, guys, and we'll be going live on that time also on all our social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And parents, remember, you also get a chance to get something. These certificates are for everybody, and you can win some gas certs, food certs. If you get hungry, Shell Foodies is the place to go. And of course, it's also the place to fill up gas. So remember guys, keep in mind 4 to 6 p.m. today at Shell Foodies here in Harmon and any of the other Shell Foodies location on island to get goodie bags for the kids and to get some of those glorious giveaway certificates. All right, well, we'll throw it back to you in the studio, Jason.
That is Dan the Man, as we call him, Daniel Perez down there. And yes, as he said, we are going to be all over. We're going to be on Facebook and on Instagram starting at 4 in the afternoon. That's going to be myself and our new social media extraordinaire, our buddy Darby. So we are going to be down there and we are going to be having some fun to get your spook on. All right, we're going to be eating lots of candy, but you know what? Go brush your teeth now because we got news bites. And when you bite into news, you want to have clean teeth. So here we are. News bites, here is what we have going on today. Congratulations going out from the Harmon Studios to Craig Quintanilla Frazier, who's been selected for advancement to Navy Chief Petty Officer by the Chief Aviation Structural Mechanic. His pinning ceremony, there you see Craig, was held on October 21st. Outstanding job, Chief, and thank you for your service, truly. Registration is now only for Triple J's Family Bubble Color Run set for November 12th. 5K race fee is $10 before race day, $35 for a group of 4, and $15 on race day itself. You can also get $15 before race day and $20 on race day if you want to run the 10K. Proceeds benefit Guam Cancer Care, Lupus Awareness, Boy Scouts, Chamorro District, and Sanctuary. Very well done. That's a great event. Local artist Mark Della Sola, that's Dave's brother. His art exhibit Pacific DNA will be opening Friday on the 4th from 6 to 9 at the Kaha Gallery, who we had here in studio just last week. The artwork is based on the DNA double helix. Of course, you see that right now. That is amazing. Anybody that knows how to paint double helix, really, really good in my book. That is really, really hardcore. All right. And Halloween in Mangilao. The public is invited to check out Mangi Town's Trick or Trunk and Haunted House. And you know, Mangilao is the school capital of the island. There's no village who has more schools per capita than Mangilao. So they know how to put on a really good show. That's going to be up from 7 to 9 at the church parking lot and the grounds of the night market. So really well done by the good folks over there at Santa Teresita Parish. All right, now a world record. 2 of them, in fact, have been broken as the Aidlet brothers have enthusiastically proclaimed, "We did it," after Brandon Aidlet and his brother Brandon, both in tight shirts, officially broke not 1, but 2 Guinness Book of World Records. They built a replica of Willis Tower over in Chicago. Now, of course, we told you about this one. There is that Brandon or Landon? I always get him confused. That's Landon. Oh, Joe Sir said that's Brandon. Thank you, sir. All right, that's Brandon on the left. That's Landon on the right. I told you about the shirts. We told you about it back in April. The 2 were using building blocks used to build the world's tallest toy timber structure. Now, this particular one was built, of course, downtown at the Agana Shopping Center. Daniel was there, and he was on that riser that you see right now. Went all the way to the tippy top over there. You see it happened on the skylight. This actually set the world record by reaching 25.89 feet high. Now, the twin brothers, Brandon is about 13 minutes older than Landon. They've got recognition for being the world's largest toy structure, using 74,019 blocks. That is a lot of Lincoln Logs, my friend. Now, on top of breaking the records and putting this one in the books for Guam, their Tower of Humanities project did raise $20,000. They raised 20 grand, 20 large. And all of that money is going to Habitat for Humanity of Guam, of course, building affordable homes for the people in our community in need. They build, finance, and sell affordable homes. Great job to the Aidlet brothers. I'm sure we're going to hear a lot about this. Now, if you know anything about Landon or Brandon, they come on the show. They are really, really enthusiastic. They love what they do. They love Guam. And obviously, they've got a very, very good background now in mechanical engineering. So that is something that no one is ever going to be able to take away from them. So really good job. And you know what? Landon and Brandon, you guys are friends of ours here on the show. We're really, really proud of you. And we're going to let your record stand. But next year, Joe, Sir, and I, we're coming for you. We're gonna build a big tower. We're gonna get that done. So we are gonna challenge you next year. All right, please stay tuned because up next, our friends in the CNMI are thinking pink during October for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Tomas Manglonia has a very revealing conversation about what our friends in the Commonwealth are doing to support people with breast cancer. That is coming up next on the Hotspot.
Pacific Points is more rewarding with friends. From now until December 31st, get 300 bonus points for every friend you refer that signs up and earns points. Both you and your friends will enjoy awesome rewards like free Shell fuel, rebates on your IT&E bills, vouchers at Foodies, and United Mileage Plus miles. Plus, earn more points to upgrade your membership tier and enjoy even more exclusive rewards. Learn more at PacificPoints.com or download the app. Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
Off today, I'm Kelina from Doc's Kitty College.
And I'm Kristen from Doc's Daycare and Preschool.
And we are so honored to be caring for the children of Guam. The Governor's Child Care programs help businesses like ours to really focus on the kids. These programs also help nonprofits and after-school programs and grandparents and so many families.
Visit www.guamchildcare.com to learn more about the Governor's Child Care programs. This ad is paid for with funds administered by DPHSS.
Dance party.
Let's go.
When inspiration strikes, say yes with the new Priority Unlimited credit card from First Hawaiian Bank. Wherever you shop, whatever you're shopping for, you can earn 2% cash back on everything you buy. From small stuff to big stuff to stuff you want. A card that rewards you for every purchase and helps you stay connected to everything that matters.
Afaday, I'm Judy Wanpat, daughter of Ana Salas Perez and Antonio Borja Wanpat. Today, I humbly ask for your vote. As an educator, legislator, single mom, and a small business owner, I understand the hardships of living here and what it takes to make positive change for Guam. I am committed to working for our families, our economy, and our environment so that Guam is truly a better place for all of us to live and thrive. I'm Judy Wanpat, and I approve this message.
KUAM News, winner of the 2022 Regional Edward R. Murrow Award for Excellence in Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for the Culture Club.
All right, welcome back to HotSpot here on a Wednesday mid-morning. Now, you know what we've been doing here at KUM throughout the month of October. Nick Delgado, my colleague, and myself, we have very generously been asked to be ambassadors for the American Cancer Society for Real Men Wear Pink. We're raising money for breast cancer awareness and support for the people that are affected by this, not only the patients themselves, but also, you know, their families, their support structure, their caretakers. Last Friday was our Think Pink Day, where we honor the life and the triumph of our own Christy St. Augustine, who beat breast cancer. And we're trying to get you involved as well. So thank you once again for all of you who have made the commitment and have shared your stories and have made donations to this movement. And you know, it's not just on Guam that we do this, because the Think Pink movement itself is Marianas-wide. The entire CNMI is getting involved. And our Tomas Manglona sat down with the Commonwealth Cancer Association as they shared how they are also thinking pink during October for Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
And now we're shifting our focus up north to the Northern Mariana Islands and their Commonwealth Cancer Association. We're so honored and grateful to have its members join us today. Annie Camacho, who's on the board of the Commonwealth Cancer Association, and Viveka Castro, who coordinates their social media pages. Ladies, thank you both for joining us.
Thank you for having us here today.
And so we'll just jump right in. What is the CCA, its origins and missions in the NMI?
Definitely. So the Commonwealth Cancer Association, or the CCA, as you just said, is a nonprofit organization that is dedicated to promoting prevention, awareness, really supporting early detection through public education and awareness campaigns, things like that. But we also provide a lot of patient services in the form of financial assistance. We connect our survivors through support groups. And yeah, we really started early as a coalition of volunteers that became formalized in 2009. These volunteers, we've had so many wonderful staff members and volunteers, board members throughout the years that have really shaped what we are today. Yes. And
Annie, are you able to share what the stats are for cancer in the NMI, and what are some of the data that you all are tracking at the Cancer Association?
Yeah, I don't have the numbers specifically, but big picture, we're looking at some of the three most prevalent cancers in the CNMI are breast cancer, which is appropriate for what we're discussing this month, focusing on this month, oral cancer that's closely linked to betel nut chewing, and colon cancer.
And can you tell us what are some of the major efforts year-round that addresses those types of cancer? And also, I know CCA is also part of raising that awareness in the community. So what kind of work is done year-round?
Yes, so pre-COVID-19 and where we are currently, obviously there are a lot of differences. The biggest one being that we have really prioritized the safety of our clients. You know, these are cancer survivors. So a lot of our in-person outreach activities, Mariana's March Against Cancer being one of them, have been put on hold for the moment. We are looking at bringing them back. That is something for our lovely board to figure out and sort out. But a lot of our efforts have been moved to an online sphere, which is why I was brought on as a social media manager, coordinator person. We wanted to have as much information specific to the CNMI and how cancer is here made available to the public. And that was just one of the things that our board prioritized as we received funding from ARPA and things like these. We really wanted to establish a stronger presence on social media. Those platforms make it very easy for us to disperse information very quickly and connect people in the CNMI and allow people to have
access to people, phone numbers, contact information that they need. I think it also helps us to kind of constantly keep the conversation going about different types of cancer, people's experiences with cancer, survivors and family members as well.
And that has really also allowed us a lot of different partnerships where we're not doing outreach activities. We've had a lot of different organizations. T Galleria, for instance, launched a care campaign which benefits, I believe, one of the cancer associations in Guam as well as us. The trek around Saipan, which was run by Frank the Crank Camacho at the end of last month, was also a big one. Recently, the National Honor Society from Mount Carmel School, they reached out to us saying, hey, we would love to do an awareness fundraiser within the school for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, knowing that that's something that, you know, affects mothers, sisters, aunties, grandmas. It can affect men too. And so that was one of our most recent things. And of course, we have awareness projects in the works with public health and CHCC.
And CHCC, the Commonwealth Healthcare Corporation, now we have the CARES Project, which stands for Cancer and Associated Risks and Early Screening Project. And that allows every person in the CNMI to have access to free cancer screening. So a huge goal of ours now is to collaborate more with CHCC to make sure that people understand that at no cost to them, they can access cancer screening. And I think that's an incredible service that we have here. And we do have a medical oncologist here in the CNMI that's available to see these patients, which is huge for our community.
And I know the March Against Cancer is the signature event. What are you hearing from the community in terms of, you know, the type of support that they're needing and, you know, maybe where there needs to be more education on?
I think one of the biggest things that I've heard, you know, seeing our clients walking in is they want more support groups. They want a forum where they can be heard, where they can share their experiences, but not just with their family and with their normal support group. It's something that these are people who live the same experience or similar experiences. And that was something that was highly requested, even though these are survivors or cancer patients that may actively be, you know, more at risk to different COVID-19 or the flu types of illnesses, but they still want that. And that's something that I know that our board and our partnership with CHCCs, I forget their exact title. I want to say the Commonwealth, the Cancer Control and CCCP. I'm sorry, I wish I could tell you the exact title, but that was one of the biggest things that we had done on a monthly basis, and that's something that we are looking to bring back.
And Annie, on the board's view, you know, you're talking about this shift to digital to raise awareness. What are some other things that folks might be able to look forward to in the NMI, not just on Saipan, but Tinian and Rhoda as well?
I think we're really trying to push more outreach, more fundraisers. I mean, fundraisers not just to raise funds, but also to bring our community together post-COVID, and then now just so we can have the conversations with each other and share experiences. And I think bringing people together into the same room for a cause like cancer, that kind of unites people and then allows us to have conversations. So we raise awareness and we also raise money and we also build a network. So more to come on that specifically, but more than just the Marianas March Against Cancer. And hopefully we can extend those same things to Tinian and Rhoda and have our fundraisers there and gatherings there.
Yes, actually, one of the things that is still very in the works, but we are cautiously optimistic will be happening is for Lung Cancer Awareness Month, which is in November. We're hoping to send a couple of CCA reps along with the CHCC public health team to do a couple of days in both of those islands, start really engaging with the community in person, because that's something that we haven't done since before I came on board.
All right, and just to wrap up the interview here, wanted to ask if you had a message to the community about supporting the cause and learning more, or possibly where to find resources.
Okay, well, our Instagram page is available. Our website is up and running. And then, of course, CHCC has very active social media as well. Their Instagram, they always have the numbers available of where you can get the services. The CARES Project, if you call the Oncology Center, they'll able to direct you to exactly where you need to go to access your free cancer screening. I just want to share that since this month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, it's a time for, especially as women, every 1 in 8 women will develop breast cancer. Early screening is our best chance of survival, early detection, and getting the treatment that we need. And mammograms are for women 40 and up every 2 years. And unless you have family history, someone in your family was younger than 40 when they got breast cancer, that would make you more high risk, and you need to discuss that with your healthcare provider. You would be eligible for earlier screening.
And just to reiterate, you can find us on our social media pages at Commonwealth Cancer Association. We keep it simple. Same with our website. It is commonwealthcancerassociation.org.
All right. Thank you so much, Annie and Viveka from the Commonwealth Cancer Association. Appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
All right, when we come back, Candid Conversations continues. Nestor is standing by, and he has with him Senator Jim Moylan, who is seeking your endorsement to be our next congressional delegate. A good talk is coming up.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
Pacific Points is more rewarding with friends. From now until December 31st, get 300 bonus points for every friend you refer that signs up and earns points. Both you and your friends will enjoy awesome rewards like free Shell fuel, rebates on your IT&E bills, vouchers at Foodies, and United Mileage Plus miles. Plus, earn more points to upgrade your membership tier and enjoy even more exclusive rewards. Learn more at PacificPoints.com or download the app. Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
There's epic, then there's ultra epic. Capture life in vivid resolution with Galaxy's most advanced camera system and the built-in S Pen that puts you in control. Every moment, every angle, from sunrise to sundown and beyond. More striking, more stunning than ever. Find the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra at your nearest iTunes store or online at ite.net and change the way you work and play.
Off today, I'm Kelina from Doc's Kitty College.
And I'm Kristen from Doc's Daycare and Preschool.
And we are so honored to be caring for the children of Guam. The governor's child care programs help businesses like ours to really focus on the kids. These programs also help nonprofits and after-school programs and grandparents and so many families.
Visit www.guamchildcare.com to learn more about the governor's child care programs. This ad is paid for with funds administered by DPHSS.
Dance party.
Let's go.
When inspiration strikes, say yes with the new Priority Unlimited credit card from First Hawaiian Bank. Wherever you shop, whatever you're shopping for, you can earn 2% cash back on everything you buy. From small stuff to big stuff to stuff you want. A card that rewards you for every purchase and helps you stay connected to everything that matters.
All right, of course, yesterday on the show, Candid Conversations focused on Dr. Judy Wanpad, who is running for our congressional delegate role. Opposing her, because of course he advanced past the September primary, is Senator Jim Moylan. He is a first-time candidate for Congress. He shares his visions, his strategies, and his goals with our Nestor Lecanto for this episode of Candid Conversations.
Half a day, everyone. We're here with Republican congressional candidate, Senator Jim Moylan. Senator, thanks for joining us.
You're very welcome, Nestor. Good afternoon.
All right, let's get straight to it. Why are you running for Congress?
Nestor, after all, you know, I'm a senator now. This is my second term. Incredible already. The experience that I had from the 35th to the 36th, we did much better in passing a lot of our measures, too. So I told everybody I wasn't going to be a senator, long-term senator. I'm not a career politician, so that's the next thing we decided we're going to do. From the learning experience that I've had here and with you know, the economy and with our drugs issue, and then also looking at veterans issues as well. I want to take these issues and move it forward to the congressional level to help our community of Guam. You know, so I'm excited to do it. I'm just ready to go, and I'm prepared to it. I have a fantastic team. We have our measures that we want to tackle, and looking forward to this opportunity. You know, it's only about 25 days left to the election, and that's incredible. I'm looking forward to it, and I bet the public is waiting for this time to end as well, so we get on with our daily lives. So I'm happy to be in this position and running for Congress.
All right, talk about your background, your experience, family.
Sure. Well, born and raised in Guam, you know, and I grew up down in Tumon. I enjoyed that time as a kid down there, and I have a lot of cousins in Tumon. And, you know, amazingly that we had chickens. We were raising chickens too, and raising pigs and picking coconuts and all that. So I enjoyed the beauty of the island. I also went to church down in Tumon too, as Blessed Diego, and altar server, and still participate doing the yard work. I enjoy that too. But really, I'm a local guy, you know, and my education is local high school here at JFK. I graduated back in 1981, and when I tell that to some of my staff, they go, "Sir, my mother wasn't even born then." You know, but after high school, I went on to the University of Guam. I graduated there, a criminal justice major, and also joined the Army at that time too, to help pay for my school. So that was a great experience. And I completed the ROTC program there too. So after college, I went full time with the Guam Army National Guard. And that was another good experience. I had many trips to the Pentagon, and we were doing reorganization at the time. So it was a great experience. From that, through the Army life, I went into the Department of Corrections. 7 years at the parole office. I'm pretty familiar with the criminal elements here and the drugs too. But there comes a time in your point where it's just like, you know, I can't really smile as much as I want to when I'm working at DOC. So I went into the family business with insurance, and that's over 20 years experience in that. So private business, military, and government as well. And then finally to the elected position. You know, and coming from where we started from, I didn't know that this is something I wanted to do, but sure enough, we grew into that, had some good friends and good team, and we became successful in the 35th and the 36th, and now we plan to be even more successful as being your next congressman. So that's what I want to do next.
All right. Should you become the next congressperson, what would be your top priorities in your first 100 days?
Sure. Now, our current congressman, Congressman Mike St. Nicholas, made some measures that are still out there. Of course, one of the biggest measures out there is regarding the SSI. Many folks are concerned about that. You know, our neighboring island and NMI is able to receive that, and many folks in the U.S. too, but why not Guam? It's because it was just excluded. So that's something that can be easily done if it doesn't pass the 117th Congress. Right? There are other things that I wish to continue and looking for to help the island with, and that's with our crime situation too. We have a really high incidence of drugs. Right? We understand that ICE is now so abundant, the price has really reduced. I was talking with the drug enforcement agencies as well, and it's just incredible the amount of drugs we have on the island. We could be looking at Guam as a high-intensity drug area. Federal money can be coming in here to assist us in fighting that. Right? There's other things I'd like to do in Congress to help support our Guam Customs Authority. We need funding for our secure or sterile facility so we can properly x-ray cargoes that coming off our ships and bringing them into our island. Right now, it's very difficult for them to do this because of lack of resources and lack of manpower. We need more federal funds that should help our Guam Customs out as well. And the economy side, of course, we know this isn't going to happen overnight. How can we reduce the price of goods? That's the Jones Act, right? And our other territories like Puerto Rico and NMI have had the opportunity to have temporary exemptions from that. Guam could consider the same thing. You know, we're in an economic crisis. We got to do something really fast. This discussion has to start. Now, I can't say it's going to happen overnight, but the discussion must start to help Guam's economy by reducing the price of goods, especially when it lands. As a senator, we did fight to reduce the price of goods, of course, with liquid fuel costs, reducing that by a couple of percentage, which I want to make permanent as well before this election is over. As well as the test laws, that's weights and measurements on these containers that come in, reducing some of those restrictions too. All helps the cost of goods. And then the De Santis Amendment, we increased the threshold for that too. So these are ideas that I've learned while as senator, which I can take forward into Congress to help our island, help our economy, and build jobs and support small businesses as well.
As you're aware, the White House and President Biden sponsored a historic first ever summit of Pacific Island countries, showing Guam's continued importance to U.S. national security interests and economic interests. What are your thoughts on that, and what would your role be, do you think, as a congressman?
Thank you. That's a very good question. And just recently, I had the opportunity to meet the president of Federated States of Micronesia, the president of Palau, and representatives from the Republic of Marshall Islands, too. All of these folks we consider our sister islands, right? They are independent nations, and Guam, and being part of the U.S., we have our own systems of government. But we deal all with the U.S. We have the understanding, or I have the understanding of the island lifestyle and what's needed, and there's a lot of similarities that we see. I think it's good if we all come together, and that Guam should have a seat there to discuss as well how we can work together as a team for the betterment. Because our opposition, our enemy is out there. That's a Communist Party of China, right? They want to do the same thing, but we know that's not the right thing to do. We had to protect the freedom that we have here in the U.S., and the independent nations too protect their freedom too. So partnering up with the United States is a great idea. We just need to strengthen that bond. My role would be to help work with the administration, the president's cabinet there, to explain how we are so closely in touch with the independent nations, right? And how that bond is there, and how we can communicate and understand each other much better. I really see it as strengthening the relationship. And with us all together, we can do that to help the United States understand how we can work together for the protection of our nation, and for us, for protection of our island too.
In a related issue, the Compacts of Free Association are currently being negotiated. The U.S. negotiator, an ambassador, has said that he hopes to get that done by the end of this year. Guam has always raised concerns about the amount of compact impact that we receive, which is far more than what the United States typically provides. In fact, it's a static sum that is divided upon by all the other territories or other areas that are affected by FAS migration. How would you address that issue in Congress?
Sure, and it's a really good concern that is important for us to receive more funding for. You know, Guam we're an island, right? We experience this problem. Hawaii has the same situation as well. We're not receiving our equal share for the amount of those folks that come on into our island, right? And they're supposed to come in here for education or for jobs as well, which is nice. But what that does to our infrastructure, what that does for our schools, what that does to our hospitals, and unfortunately what it does to our prisons as well, impacts our bottom line, impacts our ability to provide the services the government must do. So what do we need to do? That voice needs to be raised to the United States so they can understand the importance of that. I'd like to see the Cordell come out here and to better understand it and get a clearer picture. We are just a small island, you know, and our resources are limited. We want to welcome more people. We're a very welcoming island, but we need the funding to help us do that too. So basically, we had to build that relationship with the United States. I don't want to leave the relationship with the United States. I approve of the United States where we are together, right? It just has to be strengthened, and that's through communications and helping them understand what's going on here, so that I can move that forward. I can move that agenda item forward. That's on my top 100 things, top things to do in the first 100 days as well. It's not going to be done overnight, again, but it's just a matter of building that step by step and asking them and keep on reminding them that this is important for Guam.
Yeah. Moving on to civilian-military relations. As we mentioned earlier, you know, Guam's growing importance to national security interests is evidenced by, you know, we're building a marine base is being built here, a missile defense system, a multi-billion-dollar missile defense system. How would you tackle military-civilian relations in Congress?
Sure. You know, back in Vietnam time, I remember down in Tumon, they had the R&R, right? And what they used to have is the security police walking down there with the billy clubs, and then you see the paddy wagons driving around and picking up some sailors and they get out of control. Now the understanding and the education is way different too, but of course people and cultures have to be understood, and we need to bind together as well. But I think now we're looking at a different situation. The U.S. is putting so much money into Guam for the purpose of building this for our Camp Ben Blas, which I think is a wonderful thing. It's going to create an economic growth that is really needed for Guam. And by the way, during this pandemic, we were very fortunate to have the military here and the ships come on in to come into and have their R&R at the hotels, or be, during the pandemic, also be quarantined there too. So it was helpful for the economy to keep on going. This proved the importance, I believe, of the military. What I also want to stress is that it's reasonable or responsible military growth. They had to work closely with us to ensure that our island culture is well preserved. And that way we can get together much better. You know, I've been, Nestor, since I've been a senator, also had the ability to speak with the last three, or the last two, Rear Admiral Capfield and John Mahone, and now Benjamin Nicholson, right? And good people, really good people. But I had that ability to have that communication with them, and I want to continue that on as the delegate. I plan to come back and of course, monthly, and continue that relationship with them and see how our community is working well with them, or what things we're struggling with that we need to address. This is really helpful for us. I think the protection is there with all the military that sources and what they'll be able to provide for the defense of our nation, for the defense of our island too. We need them here, but it's a responsible growth of the military with the cooperation of our government to ensure that our culture and our people and the military work well together. And I can see that happening as a veteran myself, and I'm looking forward to that growing. And the jobs that we'll create, it will be wonderful. The small businesses that we can have to provide services on base will be tremendous. The people hopefully can stay more, because instead of leaving Guam, because the job availabilities are there too. So we're going to see a growth. A great growth will be in, of course, the Section 30 money as well, right? That pays our tax refunds. So that's going to be helpful for Guam too. So the unity of the military and Guam will be helpful as long as it's done responsibly.
Sorry, my oversight, but I meant to ask you earlier, should you make it into Congress, so what committees would you seek membership on, and why?
Okay, there's a couple of good ones, and we've already communicated with the high-ranking Republican Congress folks in those committees. First one is the Armed Forces Committee, right? Look, right now, the United States is moving in billions of dollars into Guam for this purpose, right? To strengthen the U.S. Protection and to strengthen the protection of our island. We need to get onto that committee in order to have a word in there, right? Just like these other committees that we want to be part of too. So Armed Forces committees, there's some good veterans groups as well that would like to be part of the Veterans Affairs groups. There's good committees on that. We've spoken to the Congress folks involved with that as well. Republicans, so we're looking at the red wave coming on in, the Republicans coming on into Congress. It looks really strong for that, and once that happens, these higher ranking Republicans are going to be in charge. So we have phone calls going with them, we have Zoom calls going with them, we have endorsements coming from them as well. They're looking for somebody here too, so they can have a voice here, and we can be their voice over there as well. So those are a couple of committees. Agriculture possibly as well, right? I just have to start asking, right? And so what we've done is already prepared ourselves and have begun asking that. And now we just need to win. And then we go back on knocking the doors and getting into those committees. So that's probably the priorities one in the first 100 days is those committee assignments. And bringing those Cordels over to Guam. Let them see and understand. You know, some may have been here before, but it's been a while. And then they got to see the progress of Camp Ben Blas up there. It's huge, right? And what they can see finally of all the budgets that have been put into that. When the Marines come on over, and just that experience that we'll be having. By the way, we also passed that law. Senator Chris Duane has sponsored it. Now the road in front is named, I think, Camp Ben Blas, named after the general, our first Marine Corps general on Guam, which connects to Marine Corps Drive. There's a lot of history in that. You know? It's amazing. And just a little story on the side. I remember one war story my mother told me when she was in the march to Meningan Hills, those final days before liberation, that she survived. And she remembers coming up the hill. They had to climb up one hill there, and she remembers seeing the star on the side of the tank. And the Army soldier or the Marine soldier, I'm not sure which it was, but basically said, you know, just keep quiet. And then she was so happy to see the star, and she comes running around. They give her some candy, but the relief of the United States presence during the liberation of Guam was something. And that's kind of an honor or the liberation of Guam that I think many of our Monuncos still feel today. And that's probably why we have so many folks also joining the service too, right? The history of generations joining the military is tremendous. We have the highest rank of enlisted folks nationwide, you know. So let's continue that, building the military relationship and building that responsibly.
We've been talking mostly about these bigger issues, but a lot of the work of the congressional delegate is constituent work. One of the most active and vocal groups on Guam happens to be the veterans. What do you think are the key issues for veterans on Guam that you need to work on?
We get the calls, and I do meet with the veterans, different veterans groups at their different sites. Of course, we're invited often, and I appreciate that. It's the medical. It's really the medical. The lack of services here, the lack of communications and getting their appointments, and why do we have to deal through Hawaii when we have everything, we should have everything here provided. We can unite with the NMI as well. We can unite with the other islands too. We can have that population to service the veterans here, and that's really important, right? I joined the service to pay for my school, but also hoping to have retired, but for the long-term benefits of that medical service. And then if we're not getting that, or it's such a struggle to get that, it's very disappointing. And it should not be. So that voice needs to be related. And you were mentioning that how we would communicate as a congressman. Well, we're looking at opening up other satellite offices, just not one location, but something up north, something down south, something where we can have better communications with the groups. And if I can get myself into the Veterans Committee, I think that'd be wonderful. And the experience and the new things that are coming out of Congress to ensure that Guam is part of that. You know, our territory of Guam is included in that, so our veterans can get what they can and not be overlooked, right? And again, to bring out the Cordell to come to Guam to understand that is important. So I'll continue to listen to the veterans. I have met with a senior Republican committee member of the veterans group, and we have had that discussion. Now he says, Jim, you just need to win. So, which we only had 25 more days or so. So looking forward to that, get that period there, and then we'll take it from there.
All right, Senator, we're running a little short on time. Why don't you look straight into that camera and tell the people of Guam why should they vote for you for Congress?
Well, my name is Jim Moreland, and I'm running for the 118th congressional seat there in D.C. I'm looking forward to this opportunity and working just as hard as I had for people of Guam as a legislature for the 35th and the 36th Guam legislature. My experience in the military, experience in government section, in the criminal justice side, and experience in the private sector has brought me to this point in my life that I'm ready to take it to the next level. I'm born and raised on Guam. I love the islands. I love the people. And I want to represent you to the best of my ability, proudly and humbly, to serve you for the people of Guam. So I humbly ask for your support in this upcoming election. Now, early voting has started, and if you can, please get to early voting. If not, we're coming up to 25 days or less there that the general election will be happening. So please get out and vote. Be telling everybody you know too that's eligible. Get out there and vote, and I appreciate that. Remember, vote Jim Moreland for Congress. Thank you very much.
All right, that's Senator Jim Moreland, Republican candidate for Congress. I'm Nestor LeConte. Thanks for watching. We'll be right back.
Another outstanding candid conversation with our own Nestor LeConte, truly a master storyteller at work, and we thank Senator Jim Moreland for his time and sharing his vision with us. All right, one more commercial break. Let's all figure out what we're going to do for lunch. Probably chicken for me, third straight day. All right, we are coming back right after this.
Half a day, I'm Nick Delgado with your Think Pink news update. As October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we want to share some important facts with you. In 2022, an estimated 287,500 new cases of invasive breast cancer will be diagnosed in women in the U.S., as well as 51,400 new cases of invasive breast cancer this year. An estimated 43,550 women will die from breast cancer in the U.S., although rare, men get breast cancer too. 1 in every 100 diagnoses are men. 1 in 8 women in the United States will be diagnosed with breast cancer in her lifetime. On average, every 2 minutes, a woman is diagnosed with breast cancer in the U.S. Though the statistics are alarming, there are healthy lifestyle choices you can make to reduce your risk of a diagnosis. Maintain a healthy weight through balanced nutrition and regular physical activity. If you are a new mother and are able to, breastfeed your babies. Know how your breasts normally look and feel. Do self-exams regularly and talk to your doctors right away if you notice changes. Talk to your doctor if you have a higher risk, including a family history of cancer. Schedule mammograms regularly based on your doctor's recommendation for your age and risk factors. Let's all think pink this October and learn more about early detection and prevention of breast cancer.
Think Pink this October. This message is brought to you by the KUAM Care Force in partnership with Island Cancer Center and the American Cancer Society.
Stay on top of breaking news and the biggest stories of the day with NBC News Daily. Get in-depth reporting from across the country and around the world, tips to take care of your health and your wallet, and up-to-the-minute local news. NBC News Daily, weekdays on NBC.
Half a day, I'm Kelina from Doc's Cutie College.
And I'm Kristen from Doc's Daycare and Preschool.
And we are so honored to be caring for the children of Guam. The governor's child care programs help businesses like ours to really focus on the kids. These programs also help nonprofits and after-school programs and grandparents and so many families.
Visit www.guamchildcare.com to learn more about the governor's child care programs. This ad is paid for with funds administered by DPHSS.
As the Decision 2022 race shapes up, keep it with KUAM News for all the news you need to know as you head to the polls. From weekly candidate profile analysis on the Hub on KUAM News HotSpot to our online candidate directory on KUAM.com, special features on KUAM Digital and KUAM News Primetime, plus live coverage of forums and debates. We're your one-stop source on every platform. Stay informed with KUAM News, your news leader, the voice of the Marianas.
Yasunto gilingwahin ni Tataw Tano gi KUM News Tomorrow News Update sa stream gi internet gi Isla Radio kami KUM News YouTube na channel. Pati esti gidiuda din kinimitin mami para insisteni ilinalay lingwahita din kulturata para todo generasyon siya. Ninafatoy Tomorrow News Update ni Familian Mizo gi First Hawaiian Bank.
Did you know that you may be at increased risk of being diagnosed with breast cancer if you have a family history of cancer? Be proactive and learn your history to help reduce the risk and catch cancer at an early stage. These conversations may be difficult to have, but they're so important. So make the time to have a discussion with family. Encourage family members to respond in a way that's most comfortable for them. Be sensitive and be a good listener. Write down who's had cancer, the age they were diagnosed, and what type of cancer. While respecting privacy, share your potential increased risk with your doctor, and they can recommend testing and screening most suitable for you. This is just one step that you can take in helping you understand your risk for breast cancer, and it may lead to early detection. Think Pink this October. This message is brought to you by the KUAM Care Force in partnership with Island Cancer Center and the American Cancer Society.
All right, that is going to do it for your Wednesday edition of the Hotspot, everybody. Thank you so much for myself, Jason Salas, Mike Villagomez, Joe Sir, Tomas Manglonia, everybody in the back, all the people that it really takes to put this show together. We really hope you enjoyed it because we enjoy bringing it to you every single day. All right, lunchtime is upon us. You know what? Treat your coworker. Treat your special someone. Pick up some candy for Halloween. Halloween's right around the corner. And you know, there's nothing wrong with candy corn. I'm that guy who still likes candy corn. I don't know why everybody has to hate on candy corn. Candy corn is awesome. So maybe that's tomorrow's topic. I don't know. But have a wonderful lunch hour. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And we will see you tomorrow, Thursday, 11 a.m. right here on KUAM. Bye-bye.